Hey YouTube, Tony here, and today I want to take a look at the Ganzo G720. This big knife. It's one of the biggest knives Ganzo makes, if not the biggest. First, just cover some details on it. First, you got this 3.54-inch blade, so just over 3.5 inches. Really thick and tall. This blade is, inch and a quarter to inch and a half in some spots, tall wise. Big beefy handle, G10 scales with this nice, I call it like an Anzo pattern, but a narrow Anzo pattern. This knife is modeled after a Lion Spy knife. Super nice knife. This is a great knife, which you can get for 18 bucks right now on GearBest. The steel is the typical Ganzo 440C stainless, as you can see over here. Really good steel for the price. It's better than 8CR 13 MOV or even OS 8. So good value as usual with some of these Chinese manufacturers, and Ganzo in particular. So some of the other things about this knife, it has the axis lock. Now this axis lock was pretty easy out of the box. I mean, it opens, it closes really well. You can, almost too well in some instances. One of the problems with the axis lock to me, in particular with a heavy knife like this knife, you can just literally shake it open. So I haven't had a problem with it carrying in my pocket. I had a friend carry it for a while, and he noticed that it wasn't necessarily open in his pocket, but as he would pull it out, it would catch and it would flip open. So that's something to keep in mind. Is as heavy as this blade is, there isn't enough tension with this axis lock. The lanyard hole here is the type that I like. It's nice and big, so you can fit a 550 paracord in there. The pocket clip is kind of a different one for them. It comes over the top, which makes for a super deep carry. So if you want a knife that's all the way in your pocket, this one will do it. It is tip up right hand carry the way it is here. It looks like you could flip this around, but I question where the position of the clip will be because it is kind of at an angle here. So if you flip that around, I'm not sure where that would fall, if it would sit right or not, but that is an option. You'd have to make a tool basically to be able to open that, though, with that proprietary screw, which I'm not a big fan of. And it does kind of come to a point. I'm not sure if you could use that as a glass breaker or not. And I've never broke glass with a knife anyway, but that might be an option. Another thing I like is this backspacer. The backspacer is G10, like the handles are, which is a nice touch. Most of the time, you'll see that a lot of manufacturers will just put in a plastic glass reinforced nylon backspacers, which kind of look cheap. To me, this is a nice touch. I like that. There's not a whole lot bad about this knife. I would say for me, the biggest bad thing is just the sheer size. This thing is big. Now, I have small hands. It does fit really well in my hand. I don't have any problems. It doesn't feel necessarily too big in my hand. But to carry this knife, it is big. And I'm not just... let's break out the scale and weigh this. Because it is a heavy knife. Let's see. Yeah, 7.1 ounces. That's crazy heavy when you're talking like the Skyline comes in at 2.6 ounces. So this knife is almost 3 times as heavy, which is not a huge deal if you're not concerned about weight. And like I say, for me, it's more a case of the thickness of this knife. So it's in your pocket. It's taking up a lot of real estate. So you've got to get around that knife. But Size-wise, I guess I'll show you while I've got the typical Skyline here. You know, it's dwarfs the Skyline and the Ontario Rat 1. You know, it's a big knife. Now, it's probably not bigger than the Rat 1 necessarily in length, but just how big and chunky it is. It's a big boy knife, and definitely, you know, thickness wise too, this blade is incredibly thick. Get it back out the Rat 1 here. See if we can compare just the blade thicknesses on those two knives. It's almost, you know, seems almost double. But if you're looking for a heavy duty, you know, beater knife, I mean, this is not going to be a great slicer because it's so thick. This is definitely a knife you want to check out, and certainly it's one of the more popular Ganzos out there because of that. It's a unique, big, heavy Ganzo. So that's pretty much all I had on this knife. If you've got one, oh, it comes in several colors. You can get it in the orange and the green, and I think that's it right now. But if you've got one, what do you think of this 720? Do you carry it often? Do you find it's too big? But that's it for this review. Thank you, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.